I look rough. I know it. Downstairs, needing to do laundry. It's the day after Christmas. Trying to clean up the house. Have so many things to get cleaned up from the house. I kind of had it in my mind over this past week, like once we got through the holidays, that I really needed to just kind of really organize things in this house. I need to organize my time better. I need to schedule my time better. I need to organize our homeschool better. Just all the things, right? I think a lot of us this time of year just get into this like, okay, we need to start fresh. And oh my goodness, my glasses are so dirty. Anyway, so yeah, I need to start fresh. So she's upset because she can't throw trash away with somebody else. She wanted to help somebody throw a pile of wrapping paper trash away, and they said no. So now she's having a meltdown. We ended up taking the kids to sledding yesterday, actually, after we did, we showed them the bikes and stuff for Christmas. I don't know if I'm going to share that. I probably will at some point. So anyway, I asked today what was going on with the house, like what day he had until, yada, yada, yada. Just to see what was going on. I'm not ignoring her. I said that I would take care of, the dryer's almost done and she wants to put her laundry away too. So I said that she could help me put her laundry away and that the other person could do the trash by themselves and she could be that kind of helper. And she's saying, but I'm a good trash helper. Okay. So she's complaining to herself, and probably in about 10 minutes, then she'll be like, okay, life is better. You ever feel like that? I feel like that today. It's like, oh my goodness. I was having a hard time because I was trying to figure out this house can be kind of a struggle for me because I don't want to, like, in my other house, I could put up like a shelf wherever I needed a shelf, or I could organize things in the manner that I wanted to organize them, but I don't want to buy specific things for a house that I'm only renting, because to me that's a waste of money. I know I'm cheap. But I don't want to buy things to help me organize, like, hey, this space right here could really use this or that, and then not be able to use it in like a future home of where we are going to be. So it's been really challenging. And then I know the kitchen seems big to quite a few of you, but to me it's really small. Like, you can't somebody cannot do dishes and open the oven at the same time. And when you have 15 people in a kitchen, that is a battle. And then the way the cabinets are, there's not like really good depth. Like, it's like so deep in the corner and around, so it makes it really challenging to like what you can put in there, and then people aren't putting things away correctly. People don't know where things go, or they're just too lazy to put them away where they belong. I know that happens to every mom, right? Their kids are not putting things away where they actually belong. Or am I the only one? Okay, so I was kind of dealing with all that this morning, just really emotional. I normally feel like when things like that happen, then I have like a secondary plan, like, oh, okay, if I do this and this might get better. And I was like asking the girls, I'm like, what can we do to streamline this better? Because it's not working. We have a mudroom, but my husband doesn't want like the kids to go out that door because it's too close to the street. So we go out the back door, which is through the kitchen. So a lot of times what happens is everyone dumps everything right there and or tramples through the house with everything on, getting everything wet to make it to the mudroom. But then they don't even get undressed in the mudroom. It's just like all over the place. So I need to create some sort of space. I need to do all these things. My brain's just like, my linen closet, it's like, I think it's like 10 inches across, but then it's like way deep in the back. So to try to organize things so it's not like, where's the Band-Aid? And you're like taking out the whole linen closet just to find a Band-Aid. Those types of things are things that I have just been like, okay, I need to figure out what's going on here. So I gave myself the week. I gave myself until January 1st to be able to like regroup, reorganize my house, and figure out life. That's part A of this story. Part B is I got news back from our realtor, and that's what this video is going to be about. So I got news back from the realtor that basically, you guys know the appraisal appraised at $394. We had actually offered he actually accepted the offer of $439. It was originally on the market. So it was originally on the market for $450. And then we actually offered him less. We offered him, what did we offer him? $435. And then we middle grounded at $439, I think it was. I forget all the details. I could probably go back and watch the video. I don't know. Anyway, we were at $439. And then that actually dropped down a little bit more to $436 because he did not want to replace the boiler. So he was taking a couple thousand off. So it dropped the price down from what it originally was. So the house only appraised at all this work at $394. So then our mortgage broker was like, okay, I don't know if this is an accurate statement because houses are so expensive around here. I don't know if this is accurate, yada, yada, yada. It looks like it's been done really well, whatever. So then he went and he asked for them to rebuttal or something like that. Anyway, so basically he went back to ask them to reevaluate the appraisal. He also spoke to another appraiser, and they both agreed that they didn't want to go up on the price. So it's $394. There's actually they listed 6 other houses and why they felt it was the way that it was. And so we went back. We told him, that was Christmas Eve, went back and told him that this is what they're offering, this is whatever. And so basically the only thing that would happen is, one, we would come up with the money to get to the other point. So, you know, $50,000 cash, or plus our down payment and all that type of stuff. Or he would need to come down to the actual appraisal price. And so he isn't coming down. So he's not coming down. We're out. I don't know. I didn't think it was going to affect me this much, but I really got upset about it. I think probably because I put so much work into it. And like I also dreamed about, like, even just Christmas was kind of upsetting because I was thinking, oh, I'm going to put their little bikes outside and then the kids are going to see like their bikes and that we have a new house. And like I really started to, I thought that our biggest challenge was going to be him getting that permit. And then as soon as he got the permit, I was like, okay, we're good. I never like put it on to like it wasn't going to appraise, because honestly, you can't even like find a house that cheap, right? So I'm like, how can it not appraise? Like, I don't know about things, but I'm like, how can it not appraise? Yeah. It's mentally, emotionally challenging. I found out about an hour ago. I called my husband at work. He is upset too. We both have talked about it before. I kind of joked around with him. I'm like, so where do you want to go? But then I start crying. So I tried to be like all nonchalant, like, hey, so where do you want to go? Because we already said that that we would take some time and travel if we were not going to get this house. Now, a couple of you have asked, like, how can I travel? I have a disabled child. How can I travel? I have all these kids. So we make it work and we figure it out. And yes, we don't want to be far away from any of the hospitals. So yes, they found me. They're behind me. 2 people are. So yeah, it's really kind of disappointing. But we can travel. We do know where hospitals are for Azariah. A couple of you have reached out and shown us some beautiful properties. The thing is even if it's a top-notch children's hospital, babies are dying every day at those hospitals because of their given condition. So even if it has to be a hospital. There's an agency called SOFT, which is for trisomy children. There's also a couple other trisomy places. And so we will only move to a place that's within 2 hours of one of those trisomy friendly hospitals specifically, because honestly, it's heart-wrenching. I'm on a group of people, and their children are born with trisomy, a rare trisomy, which would be like trisomy 13 or 18 or 9 or 8, I think. There's quite a few of them. So their child might have one of these rare trisomies, and they'll be in a hospital that is not trisomy friendly. And there's just so many scenarios that are just so sad. There's one lady, like, I was trying to get her some help, and she's like in the UK, and because it's and you guys in the UK probably know this. I know there's a couple people on this channel that are in the UK. So it's universal health care, and they are fighting, or not fighting, but I guess they're trying to like make a point that trisomy 18 children deserve the chance at life. But at this point, trisomy 18 children cannot get heart surgery right away. So even though her baby so basically her baby's heart is going to fail and the baby's going to die. And I see that over and over and over again in the United States as well, not just in the UK. The UK, it's actually like a law, but in the United States, it's hospital by hospital. And a lot of times they'll say, well, the baby has this underlying condition, or we don't feel comfortable doing surgery on a baby that tiny and the baby's not stable enough to move, or something like that. So you really, if you have one of these conditions, and if you're a mama that might be pregnant with a baby with one of these conditions, it's really important where you give birth, because you want to know that they're going to treat your baby just like any other baby. So I want to be able to go into a hospital and be like, my child is having these issues, and they'll take into consideration that your child has an underlying condition, but they're not going to not give surgery just because your child has an underlying condition. They'll take it into consideration as far as, okay, these things might be different on this child, but not, no, we can't do this because your child has this condition. So that's the first and foremost of what we're looking for in a hospital. So when we are traveling, we will be traveling to areas that, one, my husband could potentially, like, that his job is in that area, and he could potentially move to the greater area. And then 2 would be looking for the hospitals. We won't be going to the hospitals, but I know specific hospitals that are willing to treat and have successfully treated children. So that's what we're doing. And then we're looking in the greater of those areas just to see the price of housing and such in those areas. And then we're looking for some fun things to do around those areas so that we can actually make a vacation out of scoping. So that's going to be our plan. We don't have any definite plans right now, but what I'm going to be doing is searching all those things that I just mentioned above and trying to make a plan, and then we'll come up with this huge plan of what we're going to do. I know this month coming up, I think we're going to go do ice castles at some point, not quite sure when. I do have a few days that need to be spent in Boston this month as well. Honestly, I want to run away today and get in a hot tub somewhere. That hot tub was so relaxing. Yes, it was. Wouldn't that be nice? Kind of discouraged though. Oh, other things. We already talked about this before we decided anything about the house. We already discussed that this summer we will actually be planting at our other house. We will be planting some things. So we will go up there when Azariah is healthy to make sure that he's healthy before we would go up, not needing extra things. And so we'll make sure that he is healthy. And we will be going up for a few days at a time, and we will be planting our high tunnel and one additional garden, trimming our plants, and getting the house ready to rent. So you will be able to see us in that type of environment off and on throughout the summer. We plan on doing a few days every month, so that will be kind of exciting. So I can plan a little bit of the gardening there. I need to plant things that are going to work well for our family. And yeah, I'm thinking about like our diet. I'm thinking about all the things, guys, all the things. My brain's like on overload, but I'm trying to take the next couple days. I think I do have 1 or 2 videos scheduled, but I'm just going to be taking a couple days to try to figure life out. I filmed some homeschooling videos for those who like that. Other videos, I'm not sure. I have to regroup my house, my heart, and my mind, and then we'll get back to cooking. Until then, we are just, yeah. So we are still eating from the pantry. I'm going to do my first AZURE standard haul. I think it's a Tuesday of next week, which is kind of exciting. Oh, that's right. There's supposed to be a sledding party. Was that Monday or Tuesday? I don't know. I got to see what day is what, because, oh no, Tuesday is... Yes. Tuesday's choir. I need a big calendar. That's what I did. I did get a big wall calendar, and I need to start writing things down on it to get reorganized. And then I thought it might be fun is if I made envelopes. I used to do the envelope system for like just our bills and stuff. I thought it might be fun to take envelopes and write like different places that we might want to go, and then like after we kind of have a plan, and then just slowly fill the envelopes. I thought that would be kind of cool. And then the kids can also see like, hey, look, we were saving for these things, or you know, yeah, anyway. Not like they have money, but like we'll put our bottle and can money and that type of stuff in it. So yeah. Oh well, that's the update on the house. I'm kind of sad. Yeah. It could have worked. Wasn't God's plan. Hope y'all have a blessed day.